A lot of us dream about self-employment. We all dream about that wonderful letter you want to drop to the boss and say, it was nice knowing you. But self-employment is tough. And that is why tonight we bring you on the coaching class, the startup coach, Edwin Matlapeng, to talk about self-employment and what it takes to get there. And tonight we're going to speak about a business plan of self-employment. Good evening and welcome to Talk with Rams. Thank you for tuning in. Excel, Matlapeng, who's it?
Voila.
Are you good, my brother?
I'm good, yourself?
Thank you for coming, man.
Tada.
So you know, I like the way you do things. You know how to trigger me. You go on this thing on Facebook and post something like that catches me. Like, we gotta talk about that. I saw that post and I thought, man, even I suppose, I've been self-employed for more than 20 years now, but I really never had a personal business plan for my self-employment. And when I read this, I thought, wow. Is it that important? Is it a non-negotiable?
It's a 100% non-negotiable, and it's something I have to admit I only came across very, very late in my life as well. This is something that if I was aware of, I would have implemented way back. And like we said before the show, we are here to share with people the mistakes that we made as junior entrepreneurs, and we don't want them to do the same mistakes. So this is very important.
It's very important. I always say to people, one of the things I can teach you about business is not to sink the money that I sank, and I sank a lot of it over the years. So let's talk about some of the things that need to be, the potholes, as you put it, that have to be navigated as you get into this space. You say, for instance, the first one is monthly financial commitments.
Absolutely.
Because it is well and good to come to boss and say I quit.
Yes.
But have I thought about my monthly commitments?
You have a lot of commitments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to start with the financial.
Let's go.
The easiest example to make is you start a good business, you do very well, and then you get married. You get married. You must move out of your townhouse into a bigger house. Your helper must stay with you.
Yeah.
Instead of that, 500 grand that was enough for the townhouse and the small car that you drove alone, you now need to get a bigger car.
Yeah.
You need to, so you need to encompass all that life aspects of yours into that plan. And eventually what you want to have is that what puts money on your table, what puts pop on your table is what determines how everything else fits around that.
Yes. But how do I got married after I started a business. How do I factor that in before? Sometimes we don't actually know that we're going to end up letting our hearts do these things.
It's and this is where the planning comes in.
Yeah.
We are not all planning freaks. We live life on a more spontaneous than a planned out fashion. It's not the way the mind works to plan everything. But we have to do as much as possible of that planning. You have an idea of where you want to go to in your life, what you want to do with your career, and then the two have to talk to one another.
Yes.
The two have to talk to one another. I recently met a lady, she's staying in France at the moment. She's speaking French and working in a French thingy. She just met a guy from Saudi Arabia who wants to get married.
Yeah.
Her plan was to come to South Africa and open up a business and do that kind of thing. So as you can see, she's in a serious, does she go with her heart or that kind of thing. But if she was planning that, she would be able to make a more informed decision now as to say, okay, fine, this guy's going to give me more than what I had planned for or not. But now she's going to probably live with regrets in both her business and her personal lives.
So, you also speak about taking care of personal relationships as you get into the space of self-employment. Mundane things like having to pick up kids from school.
Yeah, it's a very big thing.
Yeah.
We are living in an age where we are raising kids who respond immediately to how we raise them. We also want to, raise responsible kids. We running a program on be that guy. We want to need it less and less as we grow as a nation.
Yeah.
So a very serious thing, especially with kids under 15 and that kind of thing, they don't react to your philosophy. They react to what they see.
Yeah.
So they only see you at night. They only see you on Saturdays, on weekends. Now and again, even then, because you're on meetings. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend, your wife, family, hey, Rams is doing well now. Asa funeral. You know, we have all those things, and those things are very, very, very important.
Yes.
Because your business may fail, your business can succeed,
Yeah.
and if your business succeed, are you all alone amongst other people or new strangers, or you're the kind of person who make new friends to post on Facebook and Instagram because you've got famous people? Where are your people?
Yes.
Who are your people who carry your coffee?
I suppose linked to that is spousal, not only affirmation but support of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
That your spouse needs to know where you are and to be there behind you.
Absolutely. It's a big thing, Rams, and it starts with a business plan. You know, we like to write business plans because we need funding. You can write a business plan if your business does not need funding. You can write a business plan if you just need to communicate with yourself, with your team, with your partners. This is where we need to go, guys. And people normally buy in because whenever people see structure, people are attracted to logical, categorized, pigeonholed thinking. You know, we want structure.
That's how we are.
That's how we are
Yes.
as human beings. You know, so the minute you weigh in that plan, the next thing you need to have with yourself or your family is to have that personal plan now. And it also takes a lot of money. You pay to go to Dubai in December. You know? It costs money. So you need to be able to let the two talk to one
Yes.
another. And one of the biggest things about these business plans is not necessarily what you have there on the paper. It's how do you treat whatever comes in, the incendiaries, the
Unforeseen.
unforeseen.
Yes.
That's what the business plan helps you with. People will say, but we didn't think we would know the economy was going to do so well, or one customer was going to order 5,000 crates of what we do. You need to have an idea of how do you deal with. Do you outsource that? Do you turn the client down, or do you grow the team because you're expecting future businesses? So it sounds a little bit complex, but
Yeah.
it's actually not, because at the fringes of the two they intersect a lot.
So in terms of personal relationships, do I need absolute buy-in from those people around me? And that could also even include future partners in business or agents or employees. Do I upfront say to Freddie, look, I'm starting this thing. I'm not sure about income. I'd like you to work with me. But if we make money, we'll make money together. But should I tell him upfront that I'm not guaranteeing any income?
Absolutely, Rams. Yeah. That's very important. And this is something that, you know, my wife is busy with her MBA. I'm learning a lot. You know, if you plan something, you are able to bring in people. And I can say to you, Rams, I do not have money now, but I need your services with A, B, C, and D. Have a look at this and tell me if you buy into that. If Rams buys into that, he can actually come in and say, okay, fine, you will owe me so much, you will pay me after 6 months when this thing starts to kick off. He saw a plan and he was able to buy into the plan.
Then you say something controversial, not unlike you. You say business plan is not like the constitution of the country. You will not, where you will need a 2/3 majority to change it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. The business plan does not tie you. Many people feel that if they write the business plan, no matter what, they have to stick to the business plan. And that's partly true. Because some of these businesses are not meant to, you know, give you money very quickly or reach those targets so quickly. If there's something that's happened outside of your control, there's nothing you can do. You need to close the business down, or you need to make more investments into the business. Yeah. That's not your fault. But then comes a time when you realize that the business plan is wrong. If the business plan is wrong and it does not speak to the realities or to the expectations, you missed something out.
Yes.
Change. You change
and
the business.
Change quickly.
You need to change it quickly.
Yes.
You need to take action very, very quickly. You've been invited to a lot of people who said they made mistakes and doing the pay. That kind of thing. So if people cannot anticipate the change and make it on time, and it's not a bad idea to actually say, you know what, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
We're closing down, we're cutting our losses. It's not a bad idea.
In fact, I always say to a lot of small business people that you must never take business decisions with your heart.
Yeah.
That's a very terrible muscle. It will mislead you. Use your head. If it's not working, don't be sentimental, close it and walk away. It's never a judgment on you, but on the business.
Absolutely.
You use one word that is very difficult for human beings, let alone entrepreneurs. Honesty. Yep. You say you have to give an honest verdict of the viability of your business.
Yep.
Most of us, because I truly believe in this thing. I believe in TWR. This is going to work. This is going to be the biggest podcast and YouTube channel with 400,000 followers by the end of this year. So even if I see the signs that are saying it's not going to work, honestly, I'm not going to accept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's a very painful experience, and this is where your personal relationships come in. This is what you need somebody to talk to in a non-formal basis. Who can say, what do you think of that? Well, that friend you don't like of yours so much, Rems, what does he think of this kind of thing? Because he's done it before.
Yes.
You need that support structure and mentorship. People who are able to tell you straight up, this is not going to work. It's very difficult.
Yes.
It's very, very, very difficult, because by the time we start with our businesses, you've opened a bank account, you probably made 2, 3, 4, 5 invoices. You have projected success. You are living at success in your mind. Because you
it's
work
looking
through
good.
the night. It's looking
I've
good.
invoiced so well now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is the 5th year. It hits the 5th year. You are behind with your bond payments. Your wife is gone. Your kids don't want to see you on weekends when it's your time to see them. You need to be able to come in and say, okay, fine, we're going to close down.
And I suppose this is an easy way of measuring it. I mean, you even say it yourself, it's the numbers. The numbers will tell you
They never lie.
what the truth is. You can
Never
see
lie.
the liquidity, your input costs,
Yeah.
you can see them.
You never
But
lie.
half of us who start our businesses, we want to become self-employed. We don't keep the numbers.
We don't.
So we don't have those measures.
This is why the accounting is such a big, an important thing. You have to do your books. And like we said about the tax literate,
Yeah.
the books are actually a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
The books are a competitive advantage. Today, many companies will ask you for your audited statements. You could have audited statements and have less skills than company B and get the job.
Yes.
Understand? So it's very important, but the most important function of those things is to actually give you a reflection of how far, given your targets, you are doing.
Yes.
You have targets. If you're meeting them or exceeding them, you have to refer back.
And those
to-
numbers also then can help you with your funding requirements. You now can know how to plan your funding. Do I need more
Absolutely.
money to fund
Absolutely.
this? Am I liquid enough? I don't need it.
Absolutely.
So that's very important.
Absolutely.
But then you have to implement all of this. You've got a business plan and you have to implement. And I suppose all of us, can plan forever.
We have a big organization. I'm not going to mention their name.
Yeah.
Big on talk, very, very, very weak. We love them, but implementation. Don't be like that. We need to be able to do.
Yes.
The doing is extremely important. The doing is everything. The doing is what translates your thoughts
Yes.
into tangible deliverables that you have. So, how do you do that? And that's a topic for another.
Well, in fact, there are many topics for another, but I wanted to talk about one last topic on this one.
Yeah.
Monitoring.
Yes.
You then say you have to monitor your business
Yes.
plan.
Yes.
It doesn't lie there and become a living document forever.
Yes.
There's an imperative to monitor all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's you need to remember we have a couple of stakeholderships in a business. There's a bank. They hold your money for you, but the bank is a serious partner for you as well. The bank can actually say, okay, fine, take 2 million or whatever. Hire the 5 people, get that project so you can grow. The bank may be the people who say, hey, it's not working. We're going to take your house. So you need to be able to, before the cancer is actually big, you need to be able to go to a doctor and say, hey, remove this
Yes.
cancer for me. That cancer could be your numbers not matching the expectations or where they are supposed to be. So you need to be able to, it's important to look at the numbers and
Well,
look at
now that you've
expectations.
mentioned the doctor, and I try to see mine every 6 months, twice to go and do a general checkup. I mean, how often should I review my business plan and say, am I on the right track? Or what is the period of frequency that I should be looking at?
I would look at them every day. The first thing that you do, is that did customer A, B pay?
Yeah.
If you are working in the private sector, I want us to discuss one day why you mustn't rely on government only. But if you're working in the private sector, they don't pay you on Thursdays only.
No.
Yeah, they can pay you on any other day. So it's very key to know what are the commitments. On a particular day, you need to fly to Durban. Some people do not have cash flow to fly to Durban now. And there's a customer that's waiting for them.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's because when somebody bought a broom or something last week or a computer or something, they never thought about that. So you need that monitoring and you need to monitor it closely. I would go daily.
So you may feel slightly discouraged after this conversation. Don't be.
Yeah.
This conversation is meant to actually give you the tools to help you to a greater self-employment. Don't go into it blind. Don't make the mistakes we made and many other people made in the past. So I think that actually you must use this again and again and again to check yourself and say, am I on the right track?
Absolutely.
How do they find you when you're not talking to us?
The last time I gave out, I don't like the Facebook thing for business a lot. I'm on LinkedIn, Edwin Matlapeng on LinkedIn. I answer and I live on LinkedIn.
And his picture on LinkedIn looks like him, so you can't miss him. But if you fail, you can find him through us on our platforms, Talk with Rams, all social media platforms. And do subscribe to the channel, please. It's Talk with Rams on YouTube and podcast. Thank you very much. Somebody sold you a dud. Somebody misled you. There is this notion that we all have to start a business so that we can create employment. That is untrue. That is not why we start businesses. We start a business to solve something. We offer a solution and then make a profit out of that. That is what business is about. In the process, to do so, you may need hands, which means you can employ people. But I find that a lot of small businesses start and the next day you are employing people. The next day you can't afford them. What you need to create are employment opportunities, not jobs. You can get people as agents. You can get people as part-timers, as freelancers to help you deliver the service or the product that you need to deliver. You do not have to hire people, at least not in the beginning, and not wholesale. So do not believe that. Go out, solve a problem, make a great profit. In that way, you will benefit a whole lot of people who need you for employment or employment opportunities. And that's my closing comment.